never a dull moment.
Advance!
Maybe we can reach the cave below and get into the bathhouse from there.
Yes!
Good on you. You're ready for anything.
We should be able to find a way inside through the Undercroft. It runs beneath the bathhouse. Another ward. I think we can get past this one, though. I have an idea. Unlike the door outside, this area contains everything we need to disrupt the magic sustaining the ward and dispel it. I've seen the Daedra use these crystals to do all sorts of things. I spotted a lucent among the debris in this hall. It's a Daedric crystal that can absorb and store the background energy that pulses through all the realms of oblivion. We'll need that to get started. Then take the lucent to the dynamis font over there. That background energy I mentioned, the font absorbs it. Place the lucent on the font, and it will fill it with the charged energy. Finally, insert the charged lucent into the discharge labrum beside the door. That will release the energy from the crystal and disrupt the ward. That's the idea, anyway. I've seen the Daedra do all sorts of things using lucents, fonts, and labrums. Remember, find a lucent, charge it in the dynamis font, then place the charged crystal in the labrum beside the door. Once you understand how lucents function, you can use them to accomplish all sorts of things throughout the realms of oblivion. Basically, when you plug a charged lucent into the labrum, it releases the energy stored in the crystal. Most of the labrums I've seen are integrated into some larger mechanism. I'm not sure what this one was originally used for. You could, but you'd also get a destructive explosion. Better to control the release by using the labrum. Besides, the lucents can be used over and over again, but not if you shatter them. Look, I just observed how the Daedra use them. The dynamis font is sort of like a spring. Instead of water, energy wells up. Could be an atronach trapped in there. Or maybe it's the ambient dynamism that flows through the space between the realms. I'm not a Daedric scholar, alright? I just know what I know. Dynamism. I heard the Dremora talking about it at Madam Wim's. It's what some call the energy of oblivion. Or the energy in oblivion? It's confusing, but it's energy that we can use. As I understand it, lucents form naturally in the void, and occasionally... Some say they're actually crystallized bits of oblivion. Who knows? I've seen Daedra gather them, charge them, and make use of their energy. Well, as long as you have lucents, a dynamis font, and a discharge labrum, you can use the energy to open gates, ignite furnaces, operate torture devices, all sorts of things. We're going to use it to overcharge the ward on that door and dispel it. That's definitely a lucent. They're as common as... Now take the lucents to the dynamis font. Place the lucent in the dynamis font, and it should fill it with energy. That did it. Look how the crystal cracked. Insert the charged crystal into the labrum and step away. It worked! And now you know how to use a charged lucent. Let's see what's behind that door.
Let's go. Who's better than us? Nobody.
They're glowing again.
I see my spell brought the help I requested, but I didn't expect there to be more than one of you. Who knew that a simple spell would take so long to yield results? Or that my request for mortal help would deposit multiple options at my feet? But the brand is unmistakable. That glow certainly contains my arcane indicators. Who are you, mortals? The Anchorite? An unusual appellation, even for a mortal. As for my absence, I heard a cultist mention that Sister Saldina had arrived at their headquarters in the shambles. I could not let the opportunity to catch up with her slip away. My reasons are my own, little mortal. Suffice it to say that Sister Saldina commands an Order of the Waking Flame sect intent on seizing control of Fargrave. I want to determine how they plan to accomplish that. Interesting. I noticed the Daganic prayers and the effects they were having on mortals, but I still don't know their ultimate purpose. What I do know is that Sister Saldina plans to conquer Fargrave and use its many portals as a gateway to Nirn. Even a Dromore of my talents cannot hope to stand alone against the Daganists and an army of living disasters. I seek to learn Sister Saldina's secrets. You want to protect the mortal realm from total destruction. Together, we can accomplish both. She's smart and ruthless. A powerful combination in a mortal. She commands the Dagonists here in Fargrave and oversaw the creation of the Cataclysm. With that device, she plans to create an army of living disasters to unleash upon Nirn. Daedra empowered to unleash destruction upon the mortal realm and make it easier for Mehrunes Dagon to conquer Nirn. Did you know he's tried before? Dagon broke an agreement, and the doors between the Deadlands and Nirn were sealed. He can't use them. Sotha Seal, one of the so-called living gods of the Dark Elves, supposedly made a pact with various Daedric princes to protect Nirn. I don't know the details, but Dagon broke the pact. Sotha Seal slammed the doors and closed off Dagon's connections. Everything about Sotha Seal's pact is rumor and speculation, so that is what I hope to determine. And I want to examine the Cataclysm. The attack on Fargrave could begin at any moment. Shall we enter the next area and see what Saldina is up to?
The glow. It vanished again.
The spell has run its course. The glow will not return. Now, to deal with this ward. Come, I sense activity in the chamber beyond.
You're too late. The ritual is almost complete. Dagon's blessing reverberates among the votive runes. Soon a wave of destruction will sweep over Fargrave and destroy the Daedra.
What's happening to us?
Mortal, destroy the votive runes.
Over so soon.
Stop! The ritual must destroy the Daedra. My plan depends upon it.
Easy.
pay for that, Dremora. You and your companions both.
Sister Seldina got away, and we're right back where we started. Nowhere.
Nowhere? How quickly mortals succumb to despair. Take a moment to look around. Sister Seldina departed in haste. Certainly she left something behind. I did not think Sister Seldina capable of performing such a powerful ritual. You did well, mortal. A few more moments and the magic would have exploded across Fargrave, leaving the city defenseless and destroying all of the Daedra, including me. Yes, but she fled in haste. That means she probably left something behind. Let's search this bathhouse. Bring me whatever you find. Sister Seldina's abandoned paraphernalia may be of use to me, and it may tell you more about the threat to Nirn. From what I could devise, the votives elevated the emotions of mortals in the city, siphoning the energy generated into Sister Seldina's ritual. She planned to use that energy to destroy the Daedra, including the Grasp, leaving the city defenseless. That would accomplish nothing. The Daegonists are experts when it comes to disappearing into the shadows. Sister Seldina will soon enough. For now, see what she left behind when she fled. What did you find, little mortal? Tell me what you found, and I shall determine if it has any significance to my quest, or to yours. Nor can I. And while your literacy may be in question, mine certainly is not. This is no language, mortal or Daedric. It is written in code, one used by the Daegonists for their more guarded correspondence. No, and neither could any lowly recruit we captured off the streets and tortured for information. This code is reserved for the Order's elite. We'll need to find someone who can decipher it. I'm sure Fargrave must have someone with those skills. We should leave. The cult's forces may have scattered, but no doubt Sister Seldina will send a force to try to deal with us. We should not be here when they arrive. Perhaps the Anchorite can suggest a place for us to meet up, safe from prying eyes. What I seek still eludes my grasp, so our business is not yet concluded. You ought to be grateful. I can be a powerful ally, when the mood strikes me. I will meet you back in Fargrave. I'm sure the Anchorite knows someone who can decipher the code.
Let's meet at there.
That's it? You asked for it. Never a dull moment. That's it?
I should be the one in charge. Me.
You're going to regret this.
Take care of that enchantment. Don't let it get to that point next time.
swear fealty to me. I have no need of a pet.
I always find myself in a better mood after a meal.
Watch it! Who's better than us? Nobody. You weren't keeping score, were you? Me neither.
Nobody really knows her. She doesn't even know herself. She's the hermit of the hovels in this place of many portals and planar trade. The mortals hold out empty palms. She fills them without a thought. In a city built on commerce, she doesn't care about profit or loss. She's the woman in the mask, a puzzle without solution. Living a life of seclusion, the fool of Fargrave feels your pain. Nobody really knows her. She doesn't even know herself. She's the darling of the alleys, trapped behind a curious mask she can't remove. The mortals weep and cry out. They're hungry and hurting too. She does whatever she can to aid them, and never seeking favor or coin. She's the woman in the mask, a puzzle without solution. Living a life of seclusion, the fool of Fargrave lends a hand.
Ooh, it smells so good in here.
So you really came all this way to stop the waking flame from destroying Fargrave?
Something like that.
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Finding the leader of the cult, watching as she almost completed a deadly ritual, and then allowing her to escape. I never fail like that. And all we have for our trouble is a coded message. Maybe this is Fargrave, after all. The city connects to everywhere. Madam Wim must know someone here who can help us with that. In the meantime, we made a deal, and I always honor my commitments. Here, you earned this, my friend.
Little mortal, attend me. We have unfinished business, mortal. The encoded message you recovered from the bathhouse. That may be the key to determining the Waking Flame's next move and revealing the secrets I'm searching for. We must find someone who can decipher it. The masked mortal has the right idea. Fargrave sits on the threshold to everywhere. If there exists a being who can decipher this code, we will find them here. I'd prefer it if we could find someone other than Madam Wim to deal with, however. I have heard of the infamous Mazkin who calls herself Madam Wim. I find her practice of turning gossip into profit to be loathsome. But even a filthy Daedrat has its uses, I suppose. Take the note to her and pay whatever it costs for a translation. Go to Madam Wim's establishment, the House of Wims. Show her the encoded note and tell her we need it deciphered. I will meet you there. To make sure we have her undivided attention, and that she understands this is more than a mortal's request. We know of each other. Perhaps our paths have crossed over the millennia, perhaps not. Wim has changed her name and appearance multiple times, or so I've heard. I have no doubt she will do so again, when Fargrave no longer amuses her. Sister Seldina possesses the knowledge to create a device called a cataclysm. With it, she can transform any Daedra into a powerful incarnate, a living disaster. She even tried to use the machine on me. These incarnates must be part of her plan. We learned that Sister Seldina tried to use the votive runes to steal power from the mortals. Power she hoped would destroy the Daedra and allow her to conquer Fargrave. We stopped that plot, but this realm's many portals are too enticing to ignore. They are persistent, if nothing else, these Daganists. If they truly want to unleash their incarnates on Nirn, using Fargrave's portals makes the most sense. The hope, slender though it may be, is that the encoded note will tell us more.
I'll meet you at the House of Wims. I can help with the negotiations.
We have some fascinating accoutrements in, if you have a mind to take a look. Lockpicks, tools, medical drams. Accoutrements. Learned that word from my fiancée.
I hope you're not the sort to interrupt those busier than you for no reason. Well, I don't have much time. Out with it. I am not shocked by this news. Mortals do not always know when to back away. This makes them exceptional employees, but does decrease their already limited longevity. You said you have the gem he was sent to retrieve? That's the trouble with mortals. Many don't have the experience to survive on the plains. Here, someone should have the gold that was set aside for Robier. I employed a few prospective creatures to retrieve more of these plainstones, but given how you discovered the last creature I sent, I do not have high hopes. If you come across more ill-fated employees, please bring the plainstones to me. I suspected that might be the case. I have yet to meet a mortal who could curb their inquisitive nature. I have no delusions about anyone's chances of survival out in the Deadlands, mortal or otherwise. Madam Wim only pays individuals for completed deliveries. There was no harm in letting a mortal attempt it. I sent many individuals after many plainstones. I would have been foolish not to. The Deadlands are not civilized, for lack of a more accurate description. Even Daedra did not make it out of that realm intact. I am under no obligation to explain that to you. We have no dealings, no contract or agreements. The only thing that ties us is that you returned what was lost. You are an admirable mortal. Do not misunderstand me. But Madam Wim cannot favor you. Madam Wim provides a service where she offers solutions to the problems of others. I would give specifics, but that is against our confidentiality agreement. All you need to know is that the service she performs for Fargrave is legendary. I am one of her assistants. Hezek is another. We handle clients with less complicated problems, so that she can focus her attention on more prestigious or troubling cases.
Why, Lyrinth, my dear, it would be an honor to assist you in any way I can.
An honor, yes. Mortals, show Wim the note.
Oh, darling, how good of you to once again grace my fine establishment. And I see that my information proved useful. You found Lyrinth. Another customer, satisfied and content. Now, what can Madam Wim do for you this time? While I have many, many talents, deciphering written codes concocted by fanatical mortals is not among them. Are you sure I can't interest you in something a little more luscious? No? Pity. Very well. I may know someone who can help you. You wound me. I thought we were becoming friends. Talk to Gazmod the Collector. His villa on the west side of town contains quite the accumulation of Daegonic paraphernalia. Something in his collection should help, provided you can catch his eye. You owe absolutely nothing, my darling. Lyrinth agreed to cover your cost for this bit of inside information. Isn't she a dear? Now, do tell Gazmod that we miss them here at the House of Whims. The place hasn't been the same without them. Oh, don't concern yourself with that, dearest one. I never ask for more than a client can afford. There's no profit in that. When you have time, come back and let Madam Wim show you some of the wares that have made her the talk of Oblivion.
Go downstairs and rouse the anchorite. We'll want her with us when we talk to this collector. Meanwhile, I need to conclude our business here.
Conclude our business? How I love the sound of that. It makes me all a twitter.
I'm not here to play games, Wim.
But games are some of my favorite activities, dear Lyrinth. Come, let me show you what the House of Whims has to offer.
Was Madam Wim helpful? grab a drink and... I know I said I was going to help with the negotiations, but... Look, I don't want to talk about it. Some things are private, personal. You can't just walk up and demand I tell you my deepest, darkest secrets. Sorry. I agreed to talk about my name, my mask, everything. After you proved yourself, and you've certainly done that. When we first met, you asked about my name. Madam Wim gave it to me. I just arrived in Fargrave, and everything before that exact moment was... gone. All I had was this mask. I didn't know who I was, or where I came from. Still don't. Just one of Madam Wim's little jokes. Means I'm a recluse, a hermit. Living a life of seclusion behind a mask I can't remove. Sometimes it feels like memories are stirring deep inside my mind. When that happens, I need a distraction. Because it feels like there's a war raging inside my skull. A war I can't win. Better to drink or whatever. Push them back down to stop the pain behind my eyes. That's my story. At least as much as I know. Now, tell me what Madam Wim said. I've heard of the Collector. Has a villa on the west side of the city. Never met them personally, but I assume they're some sort of Daedra. Makes sense considering their influence and where they live. I'll meet you there. I'll finish this and meet you at the Collector's villa. It's on the west side, in a neighborhood that's strictly Daedric. So be careful, and watch your step until I get there. Where else was I to go? I assumed I awoke in Fargrave for a reason. I stayed to find that reason. And to see if whoever left me here would one day return. Regardless, the city and its people quickly captured my heart. Especially the mortals. Another label assigned by Madam Wim. Stay in her orbit long enough and you'll collect a dozen appellations. I can't stand to see anyone go hungry or be taken advantage of. I try to help and don't ask anything in return. Wim sees that as a weakness. Bits and pieces, but when the memories stir, the pain kicks in. If I try to focus on them, actually make sense of them, the mask burns? It hurts me, like it doesn't want me to remember. Someday, I'll look into those blank spaces, but not today.
Time to go, little mortals.
To the Collector's villa, as soon as I finish my drink.
Go. We will catch up.
How a person treat...
This mask, it intrigues. It must become a part of Gazmod's collection.
Friend? Why don't you talk to the Collector?
It approaches. It dares speak. Will it offer the mask to compensate for such insults? It invokes Madame Wim, wants what belongs to Gazmod and Gazmod alone. It is Presumptuous. Leave our gaze. Gazmod no longer wants to look upon it.
I meant no insult by having my mortal speak to you, Collector. We merely seek to borrow a Daganic codebreaker.
Since you're clearly interested, I'll allow you to examine my mask.
No. The Arox must not leave the gallery. But Gazmod will peer at its mask. This way, mask wearer.
Come, little mortal. We must find the Arox. Perhaps the gallery is beyond that door. The Collector let slip that they have a codebreaker called the Arox. We must find it. It appears not all of Gazmod's collection consists of relics.
It dares enter our collection. Does it not know we see through many eyes?
An arboretum? This collection is not at all what I imagined.
Our collection is as dangerous as it is beautiful.
Over so soon.
Perhaps the Daganic relics lie beyond that door. This gallery contains but a single display. See what it is, mortal.
I am Arox the Mutilator, terror of the Deadlands.
Release me from this cage, and I will grant you a boon, mortal.
The relic is a talking Daedrat? Mortal, release the vermin.
Sweet freedom at long last! Arox owes you for this kind indulgence. You have set Arox free. Free! Arox owes you a debt of honor, and Arox will pay it, no matter how long it takes. You have my word. But pray tell, who do I owe this enormous debt of gratitude to? Question not this pitiable form, mortal, for within it beats the heart of the terror of the Deadlands, the sunderer of the seven skies, and the warrior of the floating wastes. I am Arox the Mutilator! And yes, I currently occupy this Daedrat body. Taken in codes. Easy as ripping the ears off a banekin. Arox is fluent in the many tongues of the Deadlands. No code can hide its meaning from the Mutilator's eyes. Speaking of eyes, we should leave this place before the Collector looks this way. I have already pledged to honor my debt to you. I will decipher every scroll in the Tower of Lord Dagon's Viscount Scrivener, if that is what you desire. I swear my fealty to you, mortal master. My life and my skills are yours to command. With pleasure, mortal master. Your pack is perfect, Master. And I found the encoded note. I will work on translating it forthwith.
We have a Daedrat. Wonderful.
Gazmod sees the intruders. Now we shall demonstrate the power of our collection. Perhaps they will amuse us as our collection destroys them. This monstrosity will destroy it. It no longer amuses. Gazmod has grown weary and departs now.
Quickly, through the door and find the anchorite before the Collector returns.
Hey, a little help here? That floating sack of eyes wants to make me a permanent part of their collection. Thanks. Let's get out of here and return to Madame Whim's.
There's always opportunities in Fargrave for the ambitious and skilled. Take a contract with the Sarathu Tong, and you won't have to fight everyone else for work. Varus Dredane studies the death cycle of a creature called the Unmaker, and he says it is ready to undergo another terminal experiment. Varus always pays good coin to ensure that someone places seeing stones around the den, so he can gather data. Magical stones. They store information about what happens near where they're placed. Ask Varus if you're curious. He's tinkering away on something in the guild hall. And I have reports that the Unmaker has some Havikrell friends. Still interested? The Sarathu Tong does not pay for time spent on a job. Dragging your feet will get you no favors. Mages who owe fealty to the Great House Lalu. We transport wares and folks between Fargrave and Nirn. In a trade city like Fargrave, you can see how useful that is. Most merchants prefer working with us over, I don't know, a cult. Whomever builds the bridges sets the price of the crossing. Other groups in our position might not be as successful, but no one else has perfected transport across the plains. We're very specialized. Not everyone in the Tong spends their entire day working on the magics we've already discovered. The Tong supports artisans and scholars alike, who tend to have projects suited for different skill sets. That's where adventurers come in. Mostly higher-ranking members will be the ones with jobs. Take Varus Dredane, for example. He's a high-ranking mage with a number of dangerous experiments underway. But anyone can request the Tong assign an adventurer to their project. Me? If I ever needed to send an adventurer out, I'd just go myself. It wasn't too long ago when I was in your position, taking assignments from someone else. I learned that walking away from an enemy doesn't mean that you don't lose too. The plains are filled with the worst monsters and creatures the princes can think of. Don't take these challenges lightly. Heard all that, and you don't want to work for the Tong. Figures. House Hexos is the largest group, but there's also the Gleaners of Erebus. You can talk to Hewlett Hexos or Luna Burial if you're interested, but there are others too. Hexos is reliable, and we've done enough business with the Gleaners to keep their thieving hands away from Tong property. But the Errant, that's what the others are called, are a selfish bunch. They're pactless, and that makes them desperate. We all serve different purposes. Hexos deals in goods across the plains. We're more magically minded. The Gleaners are useful for all covert operations. And the Errant, disorganized though they may be, give mortals structure. Fargrave's complex.
So many new faces in Fargrave. If you need work and can handle a weapon, we should talk. As a representative of House Hexos, I assure you that this is all above board. Oh, I don't handle jobs. Think of me more as a scout for the organizations in the city who hire adventurers. Speak to Luna Burial or Vaveli Indivel. They hire mortals and Daedra for dangerous jobs on a daily basis. You're a wary one. I consider that a mark in your favor, considering some of the characters I've seen pass through Fargrave's many portals. All right. What do you want to know? Vaveli Indivel represents the Sarathu Tong, a syndicate of outcast mages who control a lot of trade in the city. Between their business dealings and research projects, they require groups to take on jobs too dangerous for single adventurers. Luna Burial represents the Gleaners, a group of... how do I put this? They're thieves. Oh, not the kind that robs from Fargrave. No, they retrieve items from elsewhere for interested parties in the city. They hire lone adventurers to help with that. Well, if you want to work alone, see Luna Burial. Vaveli Indivel of the Sarathu Tong also provides jobs, but they're dangerous. You'll want a group to deal with them. Here, consider this an investment into your adventuring career. Luna Burial has jobs that you can handle on your own, and Viveli Indivel trades in tasks that require groups of adventurers. Regardless of which job you take, I guarantee you'll be paid well for your work. That's a House Hexos promise. Yes, I'm a member of House Hexos. Since you made it to Fargrave, I'll let you in on a little secret. My house gave up its claims in Tamriel centuries ago for a lucrative position in the Celestial Palanquin. But even I'm not privy to all our secrets. Consider it a test. House Hexos serves as a bridge between Fargrave's mortals and Daedra. If you can't keep a minor secret, then we can't recommend you to other organizations. It's a little out of line, but that's life on the edge of all reality. Well, you don't get to be the foremost mortal family in a multi-dimensional Daedric city without being betrayed a few times over the centuries. We thrive because my ancestors were cautious, and that's still a family trait to the current day. Luna Burial.
I have a keen eye for spotting reliable adventurers in need of some extra work. It's one of the things I'm known for. So, are you the sort of person I think you are? A reliable adventurer looking to make a bit of gold? Yes. One of our skilled members, Erler, discovered some relics of note in the Brandfire Reformatory. He thinks it's too risky to go retrieve them himself, and the Gleaners agree. But we still want the relics. We'll pay you for your trouble. It's a building in the Deadlands that's controlled by the Waking Flame cult. Folks enter the building and don't leave. It stands to reason that their valuables are still there. Erler loiters near Madame Wim's. Ask him if you're curious. So, you in? Be careful out there. The Gleaners prioritize items of value, yes, but there's nothing more valuable than an experienced adventurer returning unharmed. Or at least not so harmed that they can't bring back the items of value. We're a group of mortals and Daedra that do all sorts of things in Fargrave. We liberate items from across the plains for interested parties, explore hidden places, find treasure, vandalize. One thing I can say is that the work never bores me. Yes, but not just any sort of thieves and spies. We're extra-planar thieves and spies. In addition to utilizing Fargrave's public portals, we also have an arrangement with the mages of the Sarathu Tong, for when we need a special portal. Me? Oh, I used to be a thief, but now I use my expertise to find talent and coordinate jobs for our clients. Besides, I love talking to adventurers, new arrivals and longtime Fargravians alike. Well, we usually have more work on hand than we have dedicated operatives. Besides, some missions involve dangers better suited to experienced adventurers instead of the specialized rogues who make up the core of the Gleaners. Well, it's not something you can just apply for. Invitation only, you understand. And that invitation has to come from one of the higher-ups, such as our founder, Piron Descent. But the first step is to make a good impression. They're a group of Dark Elf mages that were cast out of Morrowind for some offense or another against the Tribunal. They came to Fargrave and used their expertise at portal magic to supply House Halalu with trade goods from across the multiverse. Sometimes we need to go somewhere not readily connected to the portal plazas of Fargrave. Or we need to reach a specific location quickly and quietly. That's when we turn to the Sarathu mages. And when they require our expertise, we reciprocate. Some of our biggest clients are the movers and shakers of the city, and we tend to avoid pilfering in our own backyard. Plus, the Grasp don't care. As long as we keep a low profile and don't make a spectacle, the Daedric authorities leave us alone.